So, we are in the 5-day Is It Your Gut challenge. Over the last 4 days, we've determined and done a self-health assessment to figure out if your issues are actually coming from your gut. We talked about looking at your skin for any blemishes or breakouts, discoloration, anything out of the ordinary. We talked about looking at your bowel movements and your poo as a determining factor of exactly what is going on with your gut and the state of the health in your gut. We talked about energy leaks and possible ways that your energy is leaking out. And yesterday we talked about emotions and how pent-up emotions and our moods can be affected by the state of health of our gut. So if we're having bad moods, if we're down, if we're not feeling good, that can all be gut related. And today, I'm very excited because today's the day we get to piece it all together and we get to put the last couple of days together into one plan. And this is going to be exactly how you can create your own custom health plan so you can move from here and start to take the steps to restore your gut, to rebuild your gut, and ultimately regain your health. So basically, we're going to discuss how to make a blueprint for actually healing your gut. But before we do, you need to understand that the terrain is everything. Your gut terrain, the environment of your gut, is where all the action happens. If your gut is disbalanced, if you're having gut issues, if you don't have the proper bacteria in there, that can lead to many of the health issues that we discussed. Things like thyroid issues, things like skin issues, rashes, hives, eczema, acne, things like anxiety, depression, low moods, things like severe fatigue, restlessness, trouble sleeping. These are all things that are directly related to the gut. Even some people that have trouble losing weight, it's because they're lacking the proper bacteria in order to break down their food efficiently. So the gut is really the base of all of these issues, and we need to be able to restore the gut in order to balance these issues, get rid of them, that way you can heal. And what we mean by the terrain is so many times we may hear about healing the gut and we may go to a store, grab probiotics and just try to throw probiotics into the gut and hope that that's going to be enough to fix everything. And I'm here to tell you it's not. We need to be able to restore the terrain, and that means the internal environment. Otherwise, it's like taking seeds and throwing them on dry concrete or pavement out in the street and hoping that that's going to grow into a tree. It's probably not going to happen. But if we take those same seeds and we put it into the proper environment, the proper terrain, nice, moist, rich soil, good dirt, enough minerals, properly maintained, and we put those apple seeds in there, they're eventually going to grow into a tree. And we want to be able to do the same thing with your probiotics and the supplements that you may be taking and different herbs that you may be taking to give them a place to actually get in there and do what they're supposed to do so they can thrive and so they can start to balance your gut back out and ultimately restore your health. Over $4 trillion a year gets spent in the United States alone on healthcare. This includes procedures, medications, testing, all of these different things. And that breaks down to about $12,000 a year per person. And that's just the average. So that's not factoring people like myself that hardly spend any money in regard to fixing illness or healthcare. I don't buy prescription medications. I don't need to pay for expensive testing. I don't have to have numerous doctor visits over and over again. All those things can add up. So that $12,000 is just the average. So that means if people like me are not spending much on the healthcare because we don't need to, we've been able to take charge of our health, that means there's other people that are spending way more than $12,000 a year on their healthcare. And this can be a huge issue. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of those issues can be completely fixed by healing the gut. They can be completely fixed by having the right foods, by having the right herbs, by knowing exactly how to restore your body so that way you can thrive. That way you can have the health that you're looking for. You can regain your health. So the three main causes of why we get gut issues in the first place really come down to these three things. That number one is antibiotics. So if you've ever had antibiotics before, I know I have, If you ever had sinus infections, colds, flus, any of that, you had to take antibiotics. That one round of antibiotics is enough to completely wipe out your good bacteria, and that can start to cause a whole host of gut issues. On top of that, not eating the proper foods, so nutrient lacking foods, things like processed foods, packaged foods, too much sugar, too much caffeine, too much alcohol, too much processed grains, pastas, breads, crackers, things like that. They can all lead to severe gut issues. And number 3, that's stress. So if you're living a stressed out life, or you're in a state of stress, whether that's emotional stress or whether that's physical stress, maybe you're working out too much, maybe you're not working out enough, those can all be stressors in the body, and that can lead to gut issues as well. And I went through this process myself, and for years I suffered. I suffered with skin issues all over the place. I had hives and rashes. I was so sensitive to food. I was sensitive to chemicals. I was sensitive to smells, to perfumes. I couldn't go out to eat at restaurants because I would break out and have a reaction no matter what I ate. I'd have severe bloating, severe cramping, embarrassing gas, that I would eat food and then have embarrassing smelling gas. I'd spend hours on the toilet bowl. I was a mess. I had severe fatigue, severe anxiety. My nerves were constantly fried. I had trouble sleeping. And this really sabotaged my life. It destroyed my life. I wasn't able to be happy. I wasn't able to thrive. I wasn't able to really live properly. I was actually suffering that whole time. And once I found out about that this was coming from my gut, and I took the proper steps in order to restore my gut, that is when the magic happened. Because within less than a month, my issues started to clear up. And by the time I hit about 2 or 3 months, I felt like a brand new person. No more skin rash, no more food sensitivities, no more problems. And I've recently gotten myself tested, and I've been able to find that I've got rid of a lot of the bad bacteria that were there, like candida and parasites and things that I was suffering with. And I was able to clean that out and build a lot of diversity and richness in my microbiome. And that is why I feel so good like I do today. And I want to share with you how you can create this exact plan. So in order to create a plan, we need to have, there's 5 steps to doing this. And when you put these 5 steps in order, that is how you're going to have success on healing. So step 1, we need to assess your current state of health. And we've been doing that this past week, over the last couple of days, of examining these different areas. So you should have a list by now, but if not, I want you to be able to stop. You can pause this video, and I want you to write down all of the different issues you're having, all of the different symptoms you're having, what exactly is going on, what you noticed, and let's get that written down. Let's take an assessment of where you currently are. I also want you to assess if you're currently taking any supplements, any medications, any herbs. I want you to list every one of those on a piece of paper, and right next to it, write why you were taking that particular supplement, medication, or herb for. That way we have a current health assessment and know exactly what issues you're facing, what is going on, what you're taking, what you're trying, and that way you can better determine what your next step should be. Step 2, you need to be able to determine where you're going. So first, you need to identify what the current situation is. You need to assess the current situation. What are your symptoms? What are you currently doing? How are you feeling? Do you have skin issues? Do you have energy issues? Do you have bloating and cramping and gas? Do you have digestive issues? Do you have any of those issues? If so, let's map those out. But then step 2, we need to determine exactly where you're going. What do you want your health to look like? How do you want to feel? What is the goal that you have for your body, that you have for your health? Do you want to have clear skin? Do you want to have more energy so you can play with your kids? Do you want to be less stressed? Do you want to get better sleep? Do you want to lose a couple of pounds? What does that look like? What are those goals? Really map those out. The clearer you get on those, it's going to be a lot easier to go through. Because once you know where you are, if you know where you currently are and you know where you want to get to and what that looks like, it's very easy to fill in the gap and get you to that point. Just like if I was to jump in the car and I live in Pennsylvania, so if I want to go to California, the other side of the country, I wouldn't just jump in my car and hope for the best. No, I would map out exactly what the address is in California and find out exactly where it is. And then from there, I could determine the shortest, fastest route to get me there. That way I'm not wasting any time. So that is very important, determining where you want to go. So you can pause this video now, and I want you to map out, I want you to envision a couple of months from now. How do you feel? How does your skin look? How are you feeling? How's your digestive system? Do you have any bloating? Do you have cramping? What types of foods are you eating? Are you working out? Are you not working out? What does that look like for you? What do you actually want out of life? Step 3, after we do those 2 things, I need you to understand what it's going to take in order for this to work. And this is a difficult step, but it's the one that's going to make the biggest impact. You see, when I was healing, I had gotten so sick that I was willing to do anything. I had to change my social circle of friends. I had to stop going out to socialize and eat at restaurants because I literally couldn't. I was sensitive to the foods. I had to work on myself. I had to schedule time for exercise. I had to schedule time to cook my own food so I know what was going in there. I had to schedule time to be around my family and spend time with family and friends and nurture those relationships. I had to eliminate any bad relationships that I was involved in or any negative people that were in my life, because I knew this was going to take a lot of work, a lot of hard internal work, external work, in order to really repair everything. So you need to understand what it's going to take. You're going to have to change your habits, because the current habits that you have right now is the reason you're in the position you are right now. You're going to have to change your habits. That may mean that if you're used to going out to eat all the time, or you're doing that at least 1 time a week for entertainment, you may have to stop that in order to go through this process and allow your body to heal. You're going to have to change your beliefs about what you thought about food, what you considered healthy food, what you considered healthy supplements. And you have to sort of remove that. We have to change that belief, because food is very powerful. The very food you eat will dictate and determine your health. So you're going to need to know exactly what it's going to take. You're going to need to realize you have to become a different person. You cannot be the same person you are right now. The same habits that you have. If you're not exercising, if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're eating foods that you know are probably not best for you, you need to be able to understand you're going to have to change those behaviors and change those habits in order to fully heal. And you will not be able to heal unless you are ready to do that. So you need to understand in step 3 what this entails, what it's going to take. Step 4, you need to be able to commit. So once you've identified where you currently are, where you want to get to, you then need to understand what that process is going to be, what it's going to entail for you to get there. And then you need to be able to commit. And by committing, that is going out to find a coach or a mentor or someone that can guide you through the process. Because trying to do this on your own is not going to work. I couldn't do it on my own either. And I knew quite a lot about nutrition. I was constantly studying it. I was a personal trainer at the time. I knew a lot about exercise. And I still needed to hire my own coach to guide me through the process, because it could be very hard when you do it yourself. We don't really have the capacity to see ourselves from a different perspective. And when you have a coach, you have that extra set of eyes that can help you identify things that may be holding you back, obstacles that you may be facing, and also help you develop a custom game plan, a step-by-step action plan, so you can actually go about healing. And also with that, you want to be able to find a mentor or a coach that's been through what you're going through, that understands and has been through their own health issues. So I would not recommend going to a doctor or practitioner or a health coach that has not gone through this themselves, because they are not going to understand. They're just going to throw theories at you, and they have never fully been through it themselves. So identify someone that's been through the gut healing journey themselves, get with that person, ask that person for help, ask for guidance, get that support so you can be held accountable to actually take the required actions it's going to take in order to heal. And after you figure those steps out, you need to be able to do the number 5 step, which is the most important, and that is decide and take action. Once you know where you want to go, what it's going to take to get there, and you identified someone that can help you get there, you need to decide, you need to fully commit, you need to fully take action, And from that day on, make the decision with yourself that you're going to do whatever it takes in order for you to heal. And I promise when you do that, you're going to be able to heal very fast. And remember, you have to be able to take full responsibility for your health. You are responsible for your health. You're responsible for every bite of food you put in you. You're responsible for your lifestyle choices. You're responsible for every type of chemical and thing you rub on your body. You are 100% responsible. And when you understand that, you're going to be able to fully heal. And with that, we've discussed throughout this week what is going on with your health. And it can seem overwhelming, and it can seem hard to gain traction. Where do we even start? And that's why I want to help you. And that's why I put a link below where you can apply for a phone call, fill out the quick form, takes less than a minute, and we'll apply for a phone call to discuss exactly where you are, and let's map out where you want to get to, what that looks like for you when you actually heal. And let's decide on and work on a custom blueprint to get you there. And this is exactly what I coach clients through in my Restore Your Gut program, which is actually an 8-week program to really completely get in there, restore your gut. We cover the exact foods to eat, how to make fermented foods, how to remineralize your body, how to alkalize your body, how to get in touch with your intuition, with what your body is calling for at that particular point in time, what herbs are going to help you heal. We talk about specific conditions and some different remedies for those. We also speak about an emotional detox and getting rid of pent-up emotions and regaining your energy back through different practices, different detox practices. And we cover all that in the course of 8 weeks. Plus, with that, you're surrounded by a community of like-minded people that are all on the healing journey as well. So you can go back and forth with these people and have a support system to help guide you through when times get tough. You can talk about food, you can ask questions, you can be guided, and you can end up taking what you've learned and what has worked for you, and you can possibly help somebody else with that information. And so when you have the proper community and you have the proper program and the proper system and plan of action, and you have a coach to help guide you through this process and keep you accountable, that is how you are going to get results. So if you are interested in joining the Restore Your Gut program, all you have to do is click the link below, apply for a call, and let's get on the phone and let's determine exactly what's going on and whether or not this approach would be right for you. And if it is, I look forward to helping you heal your gut and restoring your gut so that way you can restore your life and you can thrive. That's what I have for you on this video. I'm Nick. Thank you for joining me from the challenge, and be sure to check your emails because there's going to be some more updates and cool things I send your way that are going to help you on your healing journey. That's what I have for you on this challenge. I hope to see you and talk to you on the phone call. Fill out the application below. Let's have a conversation, and let's get you on your healing path so you can regain your health, so you can regain your life, and so ultimately you can become the healthiest version of you.